Superman trailer just dropped. So much is going on in this. I don't know how it's not going to be a 4-hour movie. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Legacy of Nerd. My name is Daniel. And yes, James Gunn's Superman trailer just dropped. It's been highly anticipated. People have been wanting to see this thing for a while now. And we finally got our first look of what the Superman movie coming out in July of 2025 will look like. Now, we have gotten some leaks before from when they were filming. We got an idea of what the Superman suit was going to look like. But this is the first time we actually know what's going to look like on the big screen and final editing, final cut. We get to see this here. So we're going to break down this trailer, trying to get as many details as possible. So we're going to start at the beginning. The beginning, we see Superman crash what looks like in the Arctic. He is wheezing. He looks really bad. And he's badly beaten, badly bruised. There's only a couple things that can do that to him. Kryptonite, Doomsday. That's pretty much it as far as I can see. He's going to have an opponent that is either stronger than him or as strong as him to be able to cause him that kind of damage, and makes me wonder what the opponent is going to be for the Superman, because we know that Lex Luthor is going to be in it. We know some other characters may be in it. We're getting some idea, but we'll talk about that in a second. So he's badly bruised. He whistles, and we see a cloud of smoke, and it's Krypto. And Krypto is there to help him, his best friend. And he says,
home, take me home.
So during this, we're seeing vignettes of Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. We see Lois Lane. We see Jimmy Olsen. We get a little vignette of him in Smallville. He's with Pa Kent. He's talking to him there as well. And then the trailer kind of takes off after that. We see Superman saving a little girl, doing his thing. We see Lex Luthor for the first time. We see a little bit of Luthor Corp. So one thing that we do see in Luthor Corp is that we see Superman in a cage, in a prison of some sort. And my thought, like, he's punching out, like he's getting out. My thought was, like, how did they get him in there in the first place? So are we dealing with a depowered Superman here? Are we dealing with a weaker Superman? James Gunn did make a comment before that this Superman movie, the public would be seeing Superman like he is past his prime. So I guess that says to me that there are other heroes in the DC universe that have come along that the public thinks is stronger than Superman. So Superman is no longer like the top guy in his universe. We have this little image here as well of a child pulling up like a yellow flag with the Superman symbol on it. I thought it was really interesting because it looks like it's also in a third world country as well. I mean, could not be, but that's what we're kind of getting the idea, or some sort of like refugee camp. And looks like this child is looking for hope, and this child is calling for Superman. So kind of wondering what's going on there. It's a very little interesting thing, very humanizing part of the movie, I think is going to be. Then we see Superman entering a building. Like, he looks like the public is really mad at him. Someone throws a can at his head. He looks angry as well. You can notice his suit is dirty, like he's already been through a battle. He does not look happy. He walks into this building, and I noticed right away that it is Stagg Industries, Simon Stagg. Now, if you guys know, Simon Stagg is not exactly a good guy in the DC universe, but we also see Superman there. He looks like he is like trying to pull something or close something, or I don't know, but he's like at this little like a desk or something. He's doing something that's causing him a lot of focus. When this happens, we for the first time see some of the Justice League. I call them the Justice League International, but the Justice League members enter the screen for the first time. We see Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. We see him in a kind of alternate suit. Looks like this is not going to be his main Green Lantern suit, but maybe like his Justice League suit. He uses his ring automatically. It looks like he's trying to hold the crowd back. We see a first look of his ring. It looks like he has a really standard Green Lantern ring as well. One thing we all noticed right off the bat, especially we noticed from filming, was the haircut. He's doing blonde. It's like a really weird bowl cut. In the trailer, it doesn't look as bad as when we saw from the leaked filming, but doesn't look too good as well, but it doesn't look as bad. And I get the sense that Guy Gardner is going to be kind of like, well, he's kind of always like a jokester, but he's also like super serious, and he's kind of like a jerk. but we get the sense that he's kind of being serious in this moment. So it was really cool to see. We see him use the Green Lantern ring. We see the green glow. It was a really cool moment. Then we see Hawkgirl. She's flying. She has her mace. Fortunately, we don't get a really good close up of Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, but we get an idea of her, like her flying through. Is there's a kaiju in the Superman movie? I don't know what this thing is from. We saw some images that people are like thinking like, oh, maybe Starro could be in this. I think they're mostly joking, but we get a kaiju, and it looks like Superman at one point is going to be one-on-one versus this kaiju, and it's a fire-breathing kaiju at that. I don't know like how long this movie is going to be. There's so much going on. Next, we start seeing him and Lois. So we see that first scene of like there's like that pink ball behind him. This was the first look we got from Superman from James Gunn of like Superman putting on his suit with everything going on behind him in the background. He's like talking to Lois. But again, that makes me think like, what is going on back there? Like, how many things are going on? Are these interconnected things, or are there separate things that are going on? Obviously, in the life of Superman, he's putting out many different fires at one time. Seeing those colors, like, it makes me think Brainiac. I know we've not heard anything about Brainiac, but it's the purple, the pink, the green. Like, we see those colors, that makes me think it right away. We see him, he's going in to kiss Lois. We see him as Clark Kent going in to kiss Lois as well. So it makes me think that Lois Lane already knows that Clark Kent is Superman. Whether they're married or not, I'm not entirely sure. But obviously, we got that this is past his prime. He's been Superman for a while, so it makes sense for Lois to already know that Clark is Superman. Obviously, as well, that Lois Lane is a really smart person, so she's going to figure it out. And I like the incarnations of Lois Lane that figure it out quicker than like the comic books figure it out for like 50 years. The next scene we see is, it looks like it's going to be at the Fortress of Solitude. We see those classic kind of like ice crystals again that we kind of saw in the Christopher Reeve version. But we see Helix for the first time in cinematic. We kind of got a version in Man of Steel, but this one looks like the Helix that we know from the comics that is going to be like Superman's helper. Doesn't look like it's going good for him. He is torn in half. Superman looks upset. He's holding his hand, so I don't know if this is the last we're going to see of Helix as well. But it was a really cool little thing to see. And the next scene, we see this guy. Now, right when I saw that, I was like, is that Brainiac? Like, could that be Brainiac? And then I was like, that's not. That has little spirals. It's Metamorpho. I knew Metamorpho was going to be in this movie. Anthony Carrigan's going to play in it. He previously played Victor Zsasz in Gotham, but we're going to see him as Metamorpho. Now, we talked about Stag Industries earlier. Well, Simon Stagg is responsible for making, I believe his name is Rex Mason, into Metamorpho. The story is that Rex Mason was dating Simon Stagg's daughter or having an affair with her, did not like that. And he basically put him through this to make him Metamorpho so he would never be around his daughter again. Metamorpho, I don't think we've ever seen Metamorpho in live action. I'm trying to think if we saw him like in Smallville randomly. But it's a really cool character. He's mostly primarily associated with Batman and the Outsiders. So it's an interesting way to put him in the show. So it's really cool. Then we get some vignettes. We get Lex Luthor. We get Superman pulling a wall. We get Krypto pulling Superman. But what I see here is this guy in the black suit. Now, we got some leaks of him previously during filming, and a lot of people are thinking this is Ultraman. Ultraman is from another universe that is basically an evil version of Superman. Not Kal-El himself, but like just an alternate version of a Superman that is evil. Now, there's been a lot of rumors that this guy is actually a clone of Superman. Could it be Bizarro? Could it just be a clone? Could it be Connor Superboy? I mean, it seems like this guy going against Superman, he is pushing him around. He's throwing him around. He's causing Superman pain in one of these scenes. He is a formidable opponent to Superman. So whether he is Kryptonian clone, whether he's Bizarro, remains to be seen. I don't think they're going to go multiverse right off the bat, but I could definitely see this being some sort of clone or Bizarro himself that they're calling Ultraman in this universe. They've also noticed that we've seen little leaked images of him, and he kind of has like a U, kind of like Ultraman too. So We don't see much more of this guy in the trailer, but we see him going against Superman, and he looks like he is doing okay in the fight. Then we get our first look of Mr. Terrific. We know he's going to play a big part in the movie. Super smart, Michael Holt. Basically can solve any situation that is going on. He's getting attacked, getting shot at. It looks like he has a force field come up. We just get this little piece of him, but it was cool to see him. Then we end with these beautiful scenes with Clark, Kal-El Superman flying into the sky. We see him with Lois Lane doing the iconic like kissing while flying in the air sort of thing. And then we see them like that purple pink ball again. They're looking out the window and they're looking at each other and they're hugging each other. Looks like that's going to be the climactic part of the movie where something's going down. Watch that be at the very beginning of the movie because I said it's gonna be climactic part. But it seemed like a really serious moment. His suit is already messed up. It looks like they're saying like kind of like goodbye in a sad way, and that is it. We have the trailer. If you guys noticed, there was no talking in this trailer other than Superman saying "Krypto, go home." So we don't have a lot of Easter eggs in this. We got Stag Industries, we got LexCorp. We have a lot of situational stuff that have absolutely no context. I have to say, the music makes it amazing. I loved this trailer. It was very much a good first trailer because it didn't give us too much, but it gave us a bunch of little clips. Again, I don't know how this is not going to be a 4-hour movie. It very well could be a 4-hour movie, but seeing this, it makes me super excited. Still a little iffy on the suit. Obviously we were used to seeing Superman like in a more fitted suit. This is not the case, obviously, but I'll wait to see the movie as well. And plus, we just had the poster that was released, and that suit looks a little different as well. So I don't know if you can see on the Superman chest that has the red border and not the yellow border that we've been seeing everywhere else. So I don't know if there's going to be an alternate suit that Superman gets at the end. Obviously, his suit is very damaged here, so he's going to need to repair it, maybe replace it. So there's some things we see. What I see is really good. James Gunn has given us really good movies: Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad. Obviously, we're getting Creature Commandos right now as well, which is really cool. But I really enjoyed this trailer. Does not make me miss anything that we could have had. Obviously, what we could have had could have been really cool as well. I'm really excited for the beginning of the DCU, and we'll see where it goes from there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you guys like the trailer? Where were some things that you saw? Did you see any Easter eggs that I didn't catch, or any little things in the background? Were there things that you liked? Were there things that you didn't like? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see y'all next time.